All right, welcome back. We continue live right here at Pittsburgh CW. Bob Pompeani with you. See the number on the Borders and Borders hotline. It's 412-575-2600. Join us tonight. We're on a little bit late after the late news because of the length of the Patriots game with the Eagles, won by New England 17-10. The showdown will come on in about a couple of minutes after midnight. I'll be joined by Ron Cook, along with Mark Caboli and Will Graves. We have a lot to get into, and some of these topics will trend here tonight, so let me know what you think. We got some tweets in. Xavier Randolph on Twitter says, I hear you're on Lamar, but he's second behind Russell Wilson. Maybe. I mean, two good choices, very similar quarterbacks. Wilson, especially in the fourth quarter, is almost unstoppable. When he has an opportunity to win a game, he does. But I'm just going to have to go with what I see with Lamar Jackson and how meaningful his performance has been. And without him, there's no question they would have issues. But he's been doing it in so many ways. You can't bottle him up. You got to really respect your lanes with him. He can hit you with the arm. He can hit you with the legs. He's doing it in so many ways. It's a good race, but week 10, is that where we're at? Week 10 of the season right now, I'll give it to Jackson with Russell Wilson, who I also really like, a close second at this point. Let's go to the lines. We got RJ in Somerset. Hello, RJ. How are you?
I'm good, Bob. That was just pure ignorance out of Myles Garrett Thursday night, and he deserves everything he gets, Bob.
Well, I mean, he's the guy. I've never seen a guy take, and I'd like to know what precipitated any of that, because you know Mason Rudolph was being roughed up that night, no question about it, and Myles Garrett played a really good game. I thought he was outstanding, as a matter of fact. And then at the end, you know, the thing that he did was not only bad for himself, bad for his family. He embarrassed his team, his league, and now he's going to hurt his team because he's not going to be around for the rest of the year, and he is their best defensive player. And so you take that away. The Cleveland Browns, if they had any shot of getting to the playoffs, I think ended with his ejection in that game. Marquise Pouncey got 3 games. Listen, you can't defend kicking a guy when he's down, and Garrett was down. He was kicking him. I understand. But Marquise Pouncey was just defending his own teammate. He came racing in there as that helmet was being hit on the head of Mason Rudolph. So bottom line was, once it started, it wasn't going to end. And unfortunately, because of this, Marquise Pouncey will be lost for the Steelers right now for 3 weeks. He had nothing to do with anything except sticking up for his teammate. If Garrett would not have reacted the way he did, then they wouldn't have lost Pouncey. The whole thing was ridiculous, and that's why I don't expect anything similar to it when Cleveland comes back to town in 2 weeks. I think it'll just be a typical game that they'll try to play. They'll stay away from it. They know everyone's going to be watching in the league specifically, so you won't see any of that kind of stuff. Go to Laurie in Avalon. Hey, Laurie, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I was going to say I haven't heard from anyone from Avalon, so I'm glad you called.
Thank you. I love listening to you and Hookie Bro. Hookie Bro has another, take on things being a football player. But anyway, I'll get to the point. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you there?
I'm there.
Oh, okay, so listen, I'm wondering what happened. Why didn't anything get done with Juju getting slammed on both sides, helmets on either side? The guy that slammed our other receiver got ejected from the game, but then this guy, Juju gets hits on both sides with helmets on both sides.
Right.
What happened with that?
Well, it was the same play that Mason Rudolph got hit in the head also. So they threw a flag, but, I think the target area changed a little bit with Juju Smith-Schuster. With Deontay Johnson, it did not. It clearly was a targeting on Demarius Randall. He came in and went right after his helmet. It wasn't a case where the receiver dipped his head and it was kind of an accident. No. He was in there, and I think they were headhunting in that game. I really do. I think Cleveland had bad intentions, and they went after some guys. He wasn't the only one. There were 3 concussions. Sukami Adeni, Ola, as we like to call him, he went out with a concussion too. So they got a lot of injuries to deal with. Somebody that needs to be healthy and playing. He gives them the one chance they have to set up a play action, to run the game, to set things up from that department. If you look around the league today, you'll see play action work with teams that can run. And when it works, like in Baltimore, for example, Gus Williams, he gives them a dimension right now, and Lamar Jackson with his legs, you got to really respect what's going on there, and that gives them an advantage in the pass game as well. So one helps the other, and in the case of the Steelers, they don't have the run game at all helping anything, and it's hurting them desperately in that department. Let's go to Randy in the West End. What's up, Randy?
Hey, Bob. Randy from West End. How you doing?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Hey, I want to talk about the Garrett deal.
Okay.
Okay. Number one, it was definitely criminal what he did to Mason Rudolph. It was the helmet and attacked him and hit him on the...
Right.
Now, if he does that to his girlfriend or his wife.
Well, if he does it anywhere outside of the arena, he's going to go to jail.
Oh, absolutely.
But this is a difference in the sports. I think sports don't want to go into the court system. They don't want to take this into a criminal activity, because once that happens, I think you head down a slippery slope, and then you open the door for a lot of it to happen. So I think they want to govern their own sport, and they've done that. I thought their response was quick, and it was definitive. They threw him basically out of the league for now, and we'll see what happens in the future. So are you suggesting you want to see them actually? Well, yeah, okay. He's not on there. I want to ask him if he was suggesting. A lot of people do agree with that. They think it should go to criminal. I don't. I don't want to start that process. I think the league should handle it themselves. Hey, listen, he's going to cost himself about $2 million, probably more after that. As I said, he's embarrassed himself, his family, his reputation. All the good that he's done leading up to this game has been erased. He'll be known as that. He'll be known as the helmet swinger, okay? And if Myles Garrett is okay with that, which I'm sure he's not, he did apologize afterwards. He did not make certainly didn't blame Mason Rudolph. He blamed himself. And for those out there blaming Mason Rudolph, please come at me with more. What did Mason Rudolph do? I don't understand it. He was trying to get that guy off his body after he was taken down when he didn't need to be taken down, in my opinion. And then it got out of control. And it was Myles Garrett who. If the league had a problem, they would have suspended Rudolph. If Jimmy Haslam had a problem, he would have not come out with an apology to Mason Rudolph. If their head coach had a problem, he would have said so after the game. He did not. He put full onus of responsibility on Myles Garrett. If their quarterback had a problem, he would have gone after Steelers. He did not. He said it was unacceptable for Myles Garrett. So everyone out there wants to blame Mason Rudolph. Go right ahead, but you're really just, I don't know what you're doing. You're wasting your time, in my opinion, because Mason Rudolph didn't deserve anything there, what he got. And he's lucky he didn't get hit seriously over the head. Let's go to Nunzio and Braddock. What's up, Nunzio?
Hey, Bob. Lady that called, I'm calling just to back her up. There's just too many head-to-heads yesterday and today.
There's a lot.
There's penalty ain't doing nothing to stop it or curb it. They got to do something else. And I firmly believe that those weren't called, and they were forgotten because of the fiasco that happened at the end of the game. And I'm tired of these people getting on Rudolph's kick. He is not playing that bad. Last game, yeah.
Well, he played bad last game, but he didn't have much to throw to either. So
right,
I mean,
yeah, nobody to throw to. There's nobody running. What are you going to do when you're down to your 8th-string running back, 4th-string quarterback? I mean, we're getting pounded with injuries, and they're mounting more and more every game. And it seems to me that we're being targeted. And nothing's being done
I mean,
about it.
listen, they've had all sorts of injuries. I'm not going to say that people are targeting them specifically. It goes on everyone in the league, as you suggested earlier in your call. So I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is that, you know, the league tries to make sure that there's a safety code going on here. These guys are somewhat protected, but it's not happening. It's a violent sport. And I've said all along, you may try to make sure guys are responsible for who they hit and how they hit, but when it's going that fast, it's almost impossible to stop. You lower your head a little bit, raise your head a little bit, you put yourself in harm's way. And you're trying to make a play out there. Sometimes it goes over the line, and I think we've seen a lot of that. Is there direct targeting? Is there headhunting going on? Yes. But I think a lot of it is just accidental contact because it's a violent sport. We got to take a break. We have Pete, we have Russ, we have Judy, we have Alex, all coming up next right here live on Pittsburgh CW.